Good evening, everybody, and welcome to William Patterson University, where Sterling Radio and Sterling TV 19 are proud to present the 2013 Group 2 State Championship game between the Sterling Silver Knights at 22-7 and the Madison Dodgers at 27-4. How you doing, everybody? Tad Kozaneski, Kevin Schulz, Danny Farr set for all the action. Both teams are just about set to get introduced. We may try to listen in as they get to these introductions. You'll see the super fans at home. They are stationed to our left, just off our camera at the moment. They are here in force. They brought a whole bus out of kids. The home team in this is going to be Madison. They're about 20 minutes away, and they might have 10 students here if they're lucky for this game. So
well, we saw 2 years ago the effect on the super fans when we were at the semifinal game, and you could tell they were right on top of the net. It felt like a home game, and you talked to Coach McPherson and the girls from 2 years ago, and they felt like that had a big effect on them, getting momentum runs and keeping them going, and you could tell that the other team was affected by the loudness and the noise that the super fans were making.
From the Lady Knights,
Kriebel there. Freshman Megan Shook being introduced now. And Tori Dreschler now. And Laurie Grzinski, one of the seniors. And Loie Naomi Carter, a sophomore, being introduced. Anne-Marie Brook rounding out the starting lineup tonight for the Sterling High School team. Again, the Sterling High School team is 23-7. They are ranked number 4 here in this conference as we get ready. And we're getting set for the other team to be introduced right now. All right. I was going to ask that young man to sit down now. The other team being introduced right now. First one is Maddie Hines. She's a libero for the Madison Dodgers. Next will be number 10, Katherine Clark. She's the setter. Number 12, Ali Saldi. She's the mid hitter. Number 7, Elise Basilino, outside hitter. Number 9, Kelly Quinn. Here's number 5. These are the two to watch out for. This is Olivia Alexander. She's an outside hitter. And the strongest hitter on the team is being introduced last. This is Margie Taylor. Margie Taylor's having an outstanding year. Has 254 kills on the season. That is more than either team. So that'll do it as we get ready for the starting lineup between Sterling and Madison High School. Both teams kind of looking confused as to what they're going to do right now. Usually we would start the game in this instance.
I guess so, yeah. I don't think of anything more you could do. I don't think we're going to warm up anymore. But I'll tell you what, you mentioned Taylor, and we were talking about when we were watching her warm up the other day. Boy, she's definitely a formidable force in the middle, as we can hear our super fans over there getting everybody fired up.
That's the noise you're hearing. That's just the Sterling sideline. At home, watching on the tape delay, you can definitely see them. They're here in force. Madison really just represented by parents, and it's interesting that we're 2 hours away. Madison's about 20 minutes away. So at home on TV, it looks like Sterling will be on the left side, going left to right. Madison in the white. They will go from our right to our left. The teams will meet at the net, and they will shake hands, and we're just about set to get this 2013 state championship game underway. Again, if you're new to volleyball, Sterling has made it to this game the last 2 years. This is their third year in a row in this game. The first 2 years, Sterling did not come away with the championship, so hopefully the third time will be the charm for the Lady Knights.
Well, 2 years ago, they went against Riverdale, faced Riverdale last year, had a lot of returners on Riverdale, were able to beat them in the semifinal game, but came up short, as you said, Tad, in the championship game last year. And this Madison team, you know, we saw them play Riverdale in the semifinal game, and Taylor, of course, has the ability to really come up with some good kills towards the middle. But in that first game, they didn't get a lot of good sets to it. It was a close game. Madison won narrowly, and then I think from that point on, that kind of deflated Riverdale, and Madison went on to win 2-0 in the semifinal game and advance to the championship game here today.
All right, it looks like the serve will be taken by Madison to start the game. Again, they'll be on the right court in the white, Sterling in the blue court on the left. We are set, and the 2013 state championship game is underway. They get it over the net, set it far side. Sterling spikes. Good dig out there by Madison. They set. They look to score. Spike dug out nicely by Kriebel. Reversed by Carter over the net. Good job to play on now by Madison. They dink it over. Shook gets it. Another great save diving, but Sterling can't get it over. First point goes to Madison.
Well, this is when you know you're at the championship game level here, when you see a couple of great digs, nice long volleys, great hits on both sides, only to have Madison get the first point of the game.
So Madison leading 1-0. They serve it over cleanly. Dug up by Kriebel. They set it for Carter. Carter would have hit it long, but they play on, still at the net. Pushing it over and out of bounds, and we're tied at 1.
Good job letting that one go. Great awareness of knowing where they're at the court, over in that corner. And Sterling knocks it up.
One of the two seniors in the lineup, Lori Grzinski, to serve for Sterling. Tied at 1. Grzinski serves it over. Clearly it's a knuckleball set up now by Madison. They look to spike. They tap it over. Controlled by Sterling. Brooke will just push it over the net. Now a set at the net. Chance to just kind of dink it over. That's my favorite word. Back and forth, both teams, no slams yet. Dodgers with this chance, they don't slam it either. They're both just kind of pushing it over the net. Here comes Kriebel. She looks to dink it over, but she hits the net. Violation, Sterling.
Yeah, neither team's really been able to get the sets close to the net for the kills, and especially when you're talking about Madison with Taylor in the middle or even Kriebel on the outside.
Livia Alexander serves it just over the net. Sterling a chance to hit it over with Kriebel. They do, controlled nicely by Madison. They look to spike. Send it long. Sterling saves it, though, and it comes back in for a miss-hit. Sterling, Madison point.
Good job finding that open area to the floor, just off to the left of Dressler. Made it difficult for her to return. Madison gets the point.
Livia Alexander to serve with Madison leading at 3-1. She hits it into the net. It's now 3-2 Sterling.
Yeah, and they're the unforced errors, the unforced points that you can't afford to give up.
The point actually went for Sterling, but they still trail it 3-2. Kriebel to serve, gets it over. Dug out nicely by Madison. They look for a slam here, controlled by Sterling. They look to set. And a long hit for Sterling, controlled at the net. Spike slam down and scored beautifully on the play by Margie Taylor.
Yep, we were talking about them not being able to set close to the net, but they got Taylor set up close to the net right there, and she made Sterling pay for it.
Sterling trails at 4-2. Madison to serve. Clark serves it cleanly over the net. Brooke hits it up. Sterling looks to hit it over. Kriebel sets it over. Chance to set, but a deep hit coming up and a chance for Sterling to return it. They set it. Far side. Dressler, her shot is dug up. At the net, spike opportunity for Madison. Blocked. They still play on. A beautiful scoop by Madison. Carter looks to dink one over. Controlled by Madison. Both teams going at it. Push deep off the net. Kriebel saves it. Going back for a spike. Dressler hits it long, and Sterling's going to score.
Yeah, well, that was that fake right there. You thought the set was going to go to Kriebel, went past her to Dressler. I think Madison was caught off guard, and Sterling gets it.
So Sterling now trails it 4-3. The super fans getting into it. Anne-Marie Brooke to serve. Sterling trails it 4-3. She gets it over the net, and a miss hit, and we are tied at 4.
Well, that's that front spin that you see from Anne-Marie Brooke, and Madison, very uncharacteristically, was caught off guard, and Sterling gets the ace.
Anne-Marie Brooke in to serve again. She is a junior. Gets it over the net cleanly. Set at the net. Chance to spike, and blocked by Sterling, and scored. Double block, and a point for Sterling.
What a great job attacking the outside with the double block with Lonnie Carter. And that went right back in Madison's face.
Sterling gets their first lead, 5-4 game one. They serve it over the net cleanly. A chance to spike here for Madison. They just touch it over. Sterling digs it, is set. Dressler looks to spike, controlled by Madison. They set it at the net. They try to return a spike, and it goes long. Sterling point.
And I think they're getting thrown off by the fake over there on the outside. You know, you didn't see them get caught off balance today or the other day like they are today.
Sterling leads 6-4. Brooks serves it cleanly, controlled by Madison. A set at the net is short and into the net, and Sterling gets another point, leading at 7-4.
Yeah, right now they have some miscommunication going right there. Had that back set, but Taylor wasn't even in position.
Sterling by 3 here in game one. Brook gets it over the net. Madison looks to set at the net, looking to spike. They just kind of tip it over. Carter will tip it right back. Madison sets, looking for a spike, far side, into the net. Sterling point.
Yeah, another situation. I think Madison's close to needing a timeout right now. Went with the spike, attempted spike, lost sense of where she was on the court.
Sterling leads at 8-4. Brook gets it over the net. Set by Madison at the net. They tap it right in as they were looking for a spike. Madison point.
Yeah, Sterling had a double block lined up right there. Great sense of what's going on the other side. That was a very big point here for Madison to get.
Margie Taylor will serve. She was the one that tapped it over the net. They were looking for the block. Now Taylor set to serve. She hits it hard. She hasn't really had a chance. She's had one spike and Sterling has blocked it. She gets it over the net cleanly. Dressler digs it out. Kriebel going to hit it over from the back line. Controlled by Madison. They have a chance to spike, and it's stopped by Carter, and she blocks it for a Sterling point.
Yeah, that's that single block by Carter coming right to the net, sensing where the kill or attempted kill was going to come. Great positioning there by Carter.
Sterling leading at 9-5. The freshman back to serve, Megan Shook. She has been a phenom serving the ball this season. Gets it cleanly over the net. Dug up nicely by the Dodgers. They'll have a deep hit. Controlled up nicely by Brooks. Sterling sets it up. Carter's going to have to scoop it over, hits the net, and goes on the other side. Chance to just push it over by Madison. Back to Sterling's side. Carter sends it far side and out of bounds. A little bit too long.
Yeah, that's a play where Carter tries to go across her body. Had a lot of success with that throughout this whole tournament. Just went a little bit wide to the far side.
Sterling leading at 9-6. Madison to serve. They clear the net. Brought up by Sterling. Kriebel from the back line dinks it in, and they score right into that campfire area.
That's that campfire area, and right now, again, you have to feel like Madison's close to calling a timeout. Some miscommunication, very uncharacteristic of this Madison team.
Tori Dressler to serve for Sterling. They lead at 10-6. She clears the net. Dug up by Madison. A tough hit. A girl hits it sitting on her backside, gets it over the net. Great play. Set it for Kriebel. She spikes, deflected, controlled by Madison. They can just tap it over, and they actually get a spike and a score out of it. Nice play by Taylor.
Well, that was a good comeback there by Madison after they were scrambling a little bit to get the volley going to where they were able to get themselves set up for the spike, and great placement off there to the corner.
I didn't think they had a chance for a spike there, but a beautiful hit. It's 10-7 Sterling. Madison serves, gets it over the net. Kriebel digs it up. They set it for Carter. Carter is going to be called for, I guess, a carry.
Yeah, that's a carry. That was
10-8 now. Sterling leads
right
it.
there, but Sterling's really getting more opportunities to get the good sets.
Madison to serve. Sterling leads it 10-8. Kriebel sets it up. They set it for Kriebel at the net. A spike. Dug up and goes out of bounds. Sterling point.
Boy, almost a great dig by Taylor off to that far side right there, but Sterling gets the point. Another great job of setting Kriebel up.
Sterling leads at 11-8. Into serve now for Sterling, Danielle Hanna. She's had a great season serving. She's back by the basketball end line, takes a few steps in, hits it over the net, and a miss hit, and Sterling point.
Well, this is what we've seen all year, seen last year at the championship level, semifinal level. Danielle Hanna can go on some runs at the serving position, and that would be great if she could do that right here.
Again, starts in the basketball end line, walks up, hits her ball, a knuckleball. This time it's controlled by Madison. They look to set, can't be spiked, just pushed over. Sterling digs, they'll have a chance to spike. Carter sends it over. Nice dig out there by Madison. Back row spike, and that goes long. Sterling point.
Yeah, there's another situation where the only sets that they seem to be getting, you're talking about Madison, only a couple times getting a set close to the net. That was way back. Too far for Taylor to have any type of an impact.
Danielle Hanna to serve again for Sterling. They lead it 13-8. The knuckleball goes over the net. Set chance here for Madison. Spike is controlled by Sterling. They set it up, far side. Kriebel slams, dug out nicely by Madison. It's right at the net. Slammed home by Carter, Sterling point.
Pat, you could see Madison on that volley. Got a set, but it wasn't perfect. It was back a little bit, as opposed to the set to Kriebel off to the far side. And again, she made Madison pay for it.
Timeout called here from William Patterson University in Game 1. The Lady Knights lead Game 1, 14-8. And so far, Dan, it's scripted up pretty well for Sterling.
Yeah, I'm thinking experience is taking over here a little bit. Plus, you see the kids on the Madison bench right now reacting to the super fans. So you know the girls on the floor must be reacting to it in some way also.
Yeah, they are just tuned right in. As you mentioned, I looked down. Every substitute wasn't paying attention to the game. They're watching the Sterling fans.
Yeah, and I think the last 2 years, at this point of the game, Sterling was kind of out of it. You could see that the other team was better, was on another level. This game has very much of a different feel to it.
Good timeout for Madison coach Stephen Fenton. Sterling leading at 14-8. Sterling will serve when we return to action. They lead it again here. We are in Game 1, the 2013 state championship game. Sterling girls volleyball looking for their first ever state championship. Hannah to serve. Knuckleball clears the net. Deep, goes almost out of bounds. One more chance to hit it over for Madison. They do. It stays in. Controlled by Sterling. Chance here for Carter. A backhand hits it over. Madison at the net. They look to Spike, and it will score.
That's just great placement. You saw the set. Again, was back. It wasn't close to the net, but just outstanding placement in a situation where Madison right there really needed a point.
In to serve, Ali Shahidi, with Sterling leading at 14-9. Easy control here for Sterling. They send it far side. A slam. Did it go in? No, they call it out. Kriebel slammed it. It was close.
It was close. That was a great set right there to Kriebel. Off to the far side. Madison anticipating to go to the middle right there.
14-10. Sterling leads it. A ball that just makes it over the net. Send it for Kriebel. She looks to just pass it over, and she does. Madison a chance to send it back over. They do. Sterling controls at the net. Block played on by Sterling. Kriebel sends it to deep line. Madison a set chance to serve at the net. They hit it over. Sterling controls, sending it back to Kriebel. She looks to Spike, and she scores.
Yeah, that's just power game by Kriebel off to that far side. You know, what Sterling's doing that Riverdale didn't do against Madison the other day, they're keeping the long volleys going, but even more so, they're getting sets right at the net like that one right there.
Lori Grzinski, the senior, in to serve. Sterling leads at 15-10. She gets it over the net. A miss hit, but a chance to play a deep ball from the end line. Madison gets it over. Sterling, a good scoring opportunity here. Here's Kriebel with the slam. It's blocked. She hits it up and out of bounds. It'll be Madison point.
Yeah, great job attacking the net, and that was a volley you had to think would favor Sterling, especially with their trouble that Madison had on the serve initially, but a good job of coming back to get the point by Madison.
Olivia Alexander to serve for Madison. Her knuckleball is controlled. They set it up. Here's tipping it nicely on the play there was Kriebel. Madison a chance to spike it over, and it's going to go off the hands of Brooke. Madison point.
Yeah, that's one you might want to let go, but at the same time, it's very difficult. Once these volleys get going, you kind of lose track a little bit at what point of the court you're on, but good job by Madison again to get 2 straight points.
Sterling still leads it 15-12. Over the net it goes. Sterling side of the floor. Kriebel. Actually, that was not Kriebel. That was Grzinski on a spike, and she will score. First time we've seen Lanny Grzinski, the sophomore.
Yeah, and I think they thought Grzinski was going to come more towards the middle, hit it towards the line, and really caught Madison flat-footed. Great job by Grzinski.
That was Lanny Grzinski on the score there. Emily Kriebel to serve for Sterling. They lead at 16-12. She clears the net. Dug up nicely by Madison. Chance to spike it back. It is a deep hit and Sterling ball. Sterling point.
Yeah, Madison really out of sync. Not the same Madison team we saw the other day. They're getting very few opportunities at the net, and when they do it, you're seeing the long hits like you saw right there.
Kriebel gets the serve over. Madison controls. A chance to spike. They just get it over. It is out. Sterling point.
Boy, another close one right on the line. Again, the few times that they get their sets towards the net, they're hitting it wide.
Sterling to serve, leading at 18-12. They get it over the net, and a nice dig out, but it just goes out of bounds. Sterling point again.
And it looks like Kriebel's going like with a quick hit right there. I mean, she's just, instead of taking some time, hitting it real quick and keeping Madison off bounds.
19-12, Sterling leads it. They serve it over. Spike opportunity is pushed over beautifully on the play. That was Taylor.
Yeah, good job of Taylor mixing things up. Obviously, she's the best hitter on the Madison team. You're expecting a power game, goes with the soft game and gets them the point.
19-13, Sterling leads it. Madison to serve. The main referee is talking on the far side. Needed somebody to sit down over by the Sterling bench, and we're ready to play. Again, Sterling leading it 19-13. Serve is over. Brooke gets it. They look to set. Kriebel from the back line hits it, controlled by Madison. Madison a chance to spike here. They just push it over, and we have a net violation against Sterling. 19-14, Sterling now leads it.
Now they're the types of points you don't want to give up. You want to make Madison earn every point they get.
Madison clears the net, dug up by Dressler. Set to Carter. Carter is called for a carry.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen that, and I'll tell you what, if Carter's able to execute that, going the other way, we see it both from Lowy and Leilani. You could see right there, they caught Madison off guard, but obviously she hit the net.
Coming back is Madison. Sterling leads at 19-15. It is out. The serve goes long. Sterling gets a reprieve.
Yeah, that's a good job. Anything that's close, especially when you have a server that's going on a little bit of a roll, you let go and take your chances.
Anne-Marie Brooke to serve. Sterling leads at 20-15 in game one. Brooke gets it over the net. Madison controls. A chance for a spike here. Hit hard, deflected. Sterling has a chance to play. They'll set it up. From the back line, hitting it there is Kriebel, and Sterling scores again.
Sterling's doing a great job attacking the net defensively. I mean, they didn't get the block right there, but they tipped it. Sterling was able to dig it, keep the volley going, and eventually get the point.
Timeout called by the Madison Dodgers. Sterling leads it 21-15 here in game one.
Yeah, I think what Sterling's doing is just having great team play, keeping the long volleys going, is really keeping Madison off balance. And you know, again, we saw them the other night. They were able to get a lot of good sets close to the net, something you haven't seen here in game number one today.
And if you listen in the background here on Sterling Radio, that is the Sterling superfans who are cheering along, getting attention in the entire room right now. Definitely bringing some life to this Sterling team.
Sterling wins this game here, and you have to think at that point the superfans are going to elevate things to another level. It's going to be tough for Madison.
21-15, game one. Sterling leads it. They are 4 points away from taking game one. Sterling will serve. Superfans have been on their feet the entire game. They continue now, and they were making a lot of noise in here. Brooke serves it, gets it over the net, dug up, set at the net for Madison. Madison looks to spike. They just kind of tap it over, and Sterling can't get to it. It'll be Madison point.
Yeah, if there's one thing Madison's having some success with, obviously not getting a good set, not able to get the good power game going, their soft game is one thing that's kind of keeping them a little bit close in this game.
Sterling leads 21-16. Serve goes over, set at the net. Dressler hits it over, and Sterling is going to score. And a nice diving effort, but a miss by Alexander.
Yeah, you know, the big thing right there, you didn't get the great set. Great job by Dressler adjusting to get the ball over the net in an open area of the floor.
Sterling, the only team in South Jersey in volleyball playing for a championship for the state of New Jersey. They lead it 22-16. The freshman, Megan Shook, in to serve. She clears the net, scooped up, and a miss hit. That was a bad hit all the way, and a heavy hit. A frustration hit on the play. Margie Taylor, the referee stared at her.
She definitely got a look from a referee, but again, that's just what happened.
Coach jumped on her, too.
Serving. They have a tough time handling it. You saw it right there.
The coach didn't like it, as Mr. Farr said. He jumped on her. That was not a sportsmanlike play. Set at the net as Sterling got it over, blocked by Sterling. A chance to set here for Madison. They're going to just tap it in from the back row. Controlled nicely by Brooke. They set it. From the back row, Kriebel hit it into the net.
Tough one right there. That's the one usually Kriebel will get, but just a miss hit right there. And again, you saw Sterling initially with the double block force Madison to get the ball to Taylor, but back too far to really have an impact with a kill.
Sterling leads 23-17. Serve goes over the net. Sterling digs it back to Carter to net, and she scores. Sterling 1 point away here in game one.
Yeah, Madison, you would think at that point would have the opportunity with the set, but didn't have anybody there on the far side, and Sterling made them pay for it right at the net.
Dressler in to serve. If Sterling gets it, they'll win game one. She clears the net. Set by Madison. They look to spike far side, but they tap it over. Sterling a chance to return. Kriebel hits it, dug up by Madison. Set at the net. Spike opportunity. They'll just pass it over. Still controlled by Sterling. They look a miracle save there. They still play on. Set at the net. All Madison can do is send it over. Sterling sets. Carter slams. Dug out by Madison. set at the net by Madison. They slam, deflected, but a score for Madison.
That's a great point by Madison. With your backs against the wall, having Sterling in a game point situation, and within the volley, having Sterling make some great plays, they stay with it and get a big point.
Madison to serve. Sterling leads it 24-18. Sterling trying to take game one. The serve goes over. Dug up. Tapped over by Sterling, and it hit the... And Sterling gets game one, a net violation against Madison. Sterling wins game one, 25-18.
Great job all around. Complete effort by Sterling, just like we've seen with each round. Just a complete effort. Everybody involved from a serving standpoint. Great job with the sets. Great job going to the net. You had some nice kills, double blocks, everything they needed to do to execute the game plan to take game number one.
So Sterling takes game one, 25-18, and this has got to feel very weird for Madison. This is their 5th playoff series. In order for them to win it, they will have to play 3 games for the first time. All their wins have been 2-0.
Madison, to me, looks out of sync right now, caught off guard. I think it has a lot to do with what Sterling's been able to do. And, you know, they always say volleyball up here is way ahead of volleyball down in South Jersey from a standpoint of all the club teams. And Sterling now is at the level that the North Jersey teams are at, with also some of the South Jersey teams you're talking about. Williamstown and Cherokee have been up here in recent years. I think Madison's caught off guard by Sterling.
The one thing I'm finding odd, Dan, when we watched the other game and in warm-ups today, we were talking about the big hitting of Madison. They're not big hitting at all today.
They're not doing it, whether they're just not getting the sets that they want, but they're just not comfortable. I don't know. It's definitely a different team than we saw the other night in the semi.
Well, they're getting chances to possibly slam, and they're just looking to push it over the net.
Yeah, you know, and there's some miscommunication, and you're also seeing the great job Sterling's doing with the serve. When they have a problem with the serve, you saw a double touch right there with the serve. Not a double hit, a double touch. Tell Mr. Feeney. Mr. Feeney will be proud of that. But you had the double touch right there, and you see other balls hit high, spun wide. They're having trouble with the serve. Even when they do get it going, they're just flailing just to get it over to Sterling. That's when Sterling sets up the kill right at the net.
So if you're just tuning in, Mr. Farr, go ahead. You got some.
That frustration hit by, was it Taylor?
Yeah.
That it was.
Ooh.
That was a big deal to me because she really, it should have been, I don't know what the penalties are in volleyball for that kind of thing, but she really smacked the ball across the court.
After the play was well over.
And, you know, as you said, their coach rightly talked to her about it. But if we see Sterling jump out here, I bet you we're going to see that frustration jump out again.
You're just tuning in. Sterling has won game one of this state championship game here in 2013. They won it 25-18. If they can win this game, they will have their first ever state championship in girls volleyball here at Sterling High School. They're well onto their way right now, but keep in mind, in the semifinal, they did lose the second game.
Yeah, and you know, that's, you know, when you get to this level, teams can come back. We always talk about volleyball being games of momentum. Obviously, Sterling has the momentum right now, but a team of Madison's caliber is more than capable of coming back and taking game number 2 to put it in a game-3 situation.
Into serve, Sterling first. Lori Grzinski, the senior, she gets it over the net. Madison scoops. They set at the net. Will they slam? They line up for the slam, and a net violation against Madison gives Sterling the point.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that's big to start out game number 2 because they got what they wanted to set close to the net and get a net violation.
Grzinski to serve. Sterling leads it 1-0 in game 2. She clears the net. Dug up by Madison. They look for another spike. Spike is blocked, and Sterling scores on a double block.
Yeah, that's a statement right there. The double block right to the net. Madison, again, the second time in a row, had the set they wanted. Didn't work out for them. They're down 2-0 in game 2.
Lanny Grzinski and Loie Naomi Carter on the block. 2-0 Sterling. Served over the net. Dug up. Looking to spike again is Madison. They just push it over. Sterling a chance to spike it back. Here's Kriebel, deflected, and Sterling scores.
Kriebel goes with the power game right past the double block, but again, you saw the first 2 times Madison was able to get a set, weren't able to capitalize. That set right there went back a little bit, didn't get the good kill. Sterling was able to get things going and get the point.
3-0 Sterling. They serve it over the net, pushed over back to Sterling's side. Sterling just get a chance to push it right back. Madison a chance to spike. They just dink it over, deflected. Controlled nicely by Brooks. Sterling a chance to hit it over. Back line, Kriebel hit it hard. Dug up nicely by Madison. They'll get a back line hit. brought back into no man's land and a score for Madison.
Yeah, and I think they thought Taylor was going to go with the power game, but we'll take it any day of the week having Taylor have to hit from that far back, and that's something we've seen throughout game 1 and into game 2.
3-1, Sterling leads. Madison serves, and it just lands on the end line. Sterling let it go. It'll be a Madison point.
Yeah, that's that tight one that you let go right there, and a lot of times you'll do that if you feel like Madison's got somebody who's one of their better servers.
Madison serving. They trail at 3-2 in game 2. Low serve, dug out nicely by Dressler. Set up. Kriebel hits it deflected. Tough hit over coming up for Madison from the back line. They get it over. Sterling a chance to set, and we're going to get a carry, I believe, against Kriebel. Yes, and we're tied at 3.
That's what they said up here when you get to the championship rounds. They're going to make that call a little bit more. They've made it on both teams.
Tied at 3. Serve goes to Sterling's side. They look to set. Beautiful job by Sterling just to get that. They can just push it over. Chance to slam for Madison, and they score. Slamming on that one, Margie Taylor.
Yeah, and it looks like Sterling got to the net with the block on Taylor, but I think there may have been a possible net violation there. But anyway, Madison gets the point.
They send it over, and a slam opportunity and scoring for Taylor as momentum has changed here as Madison leads at 5-3.
Yeah, and it all starts with them getting Taylor involved, not in the back area, but right at the net, and that's what they were able to do in the last 2 volleys to get the last 2 points.
5-3 Madison in game 2. Sterling won game 1. Madison serves it over the net cleanly. Sterling sets. Kriebel to slam, deflected. Madison plays. They set it far side, setting it for Alexander. Dug up nicely by Sterling. Carter passes it over the net. Slam set now, but a touch pass and a score by Margie Taylor.
Yeah, that's what we're going to see from Taylor. Went with the power game in the prior 2 volleys. There went with the soft game. Tipped it to the open area of the floor.
Madison on a 6-0 run. They lead it 6-3. Get the ball over. Sterling sets. Kriebel sends it over. Actually, that was Garzinski that got it. Here's a little tap pass. Sterling sends it back. Chance for a set and a slam for Madison. Blocked by Sterling. They scoop it up. Set it at the net. It's Kriebel. She's dug up. They set it at the net again as Madison. Madison looks to just pass one. Blocked at the net. Madison picks it up. They push it deep. Sterling gets it. Set at the net. Here's Kriebel in a slam. Deflected. Madison hits 2 hits. They have to get it over now on this hit from deep. They do get it over. Brooke gets it. Set at the net. Here's Kriebel again. Hits it deep, and Sterling might score. Beautiful save on her backside, but Sterling gets the point nonetheless.
Well, what a great volley on both ends. Madison almost making a great play. Hits it over, but gets it wide. Sterling gets a big point right there to draw within 2.
The Madison deep hitter was on her backside to save a ball, and then they got it over the net. Sterling serves, miss hit. Sterling now back in it, trailing at 6-5.
Madison clearly, to this point, in game number 2 and throughout game number 1, has had a lot of problems handling Sterling serves.
Kriebel to serve. Sterling trails 6-5. It's a chance to slam at the net. They just push it over, dug up by Sterling. Backside hit. Kriebel misread that, and it'll be a point for Madison.
Yeah, just a miss hit right there. But I tell you what, great job of Garzinski coming up with Taylor, going with the tap. Garzinski got the dig, kept things going, but Madison is able to get the point.
Madison leads at 7-5. Dug up nicely by Kriebel. Carter dinks one right over into no man's land and scores.
Yeah, that's a great job by Loie Carter. We saw her called for the carry previously, but that's something she's had a lot of success with all year. Going against her body, and Madison was caught off guard.
Sterling trails 7-6. Served over by Brooke. Madison a chance to spike. At the net, they just push it over. Double block. Sterling scores.
Sterling going to net. Again, you see the set. The Madison player was lined up to get the good set. The set wasn't there. Had to go back across her body. Couldn't get it past that double block of Sterling.
State Championship Series. We're in game 2, tied at 7. Sterling won the first game. Brooke in to serve, gets it over the net. Madison serves at the net. Big hit. Sterling digs it out off the net, but not able to get it as Madison scores.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in game number 2 is the fact that Madison's getting Taylor a lot more involved, and that's why you're looking at them with an 8-7 lead right here.
Taylor slammed that one with authority. 8-7 lead. Madison to serve. Line drive over the net, dug up nicely by Brooke. Backline hit, blocked, and a scoring opportunity scored in nicely by Madison, blocked by Taylor.
And then you see Taylor coming in the net, having a great defensive play. Just a great all-around game here in game number 2 to start things off in this first part of this game.
Madison leads 9-7. They serve, get it over. Brooke digs it. It's right at the net, and Sterling catches a break as a misread, and Sterling gets the point.
Yeah, that's one Madison's want to have back with. If it's anything that's close, you want to stay off that net, and Sterling gets a big point to draw within one.
Megan Shook in the game to serve for Sterling. They trail at 9-8 here in game 2. Gets it over the net cleanly and in as there was miscommunications. Tying at 9 is Sterling.
Something we've seen, again, throughout game number 1 and game game 2, them not being able to communicate. You saw it right there.
Tied at 9. Shook sends it over. Deep hit here, just a chance to pass it over. Does Madison. They do. Sterling a chance to set up a slam. Carter hits it hard. Returned by Madison. They're right at the net. Sterling boxes it in and scores.
Yeah, and it all started with Carter, again, going against her body. Both Carters are having a lot more success with that in the last few volleys. And to be honest with you, Madison seems to be caught off guard by that hit that goes across the body.
Megan Shook into serve. Sterling leads it 10-9 in game 2. She gets it over the net. Dug up by Madison. They're going to have a back row hit here. They just push it over, controlled by Sterling. Chance for a spike. Dressler hits it deep, controlled by Madison. They set at the net. Go far side. Spike opportunity is long, and Sterling point.
Yeah, and I think Madison thought the set was going to go to Taylor. Faked it her. Went to that far side. The far hitter was caught off guard. Hit the ball wide. And Sterling gets the point.
11-9 Sterling in game 2. They get it over the net. A miss hit. Dug up. They're going to have to hit it deep to get it back on Sterling's side. They do. Sterling sets. Here's Dressler. She taps it over. Controlled for a slam far side. Madison. They push it over. Dug up nicely by Brooke. Sterling set. Kriebel scoops one over. At the net, slam opportunity missed. Now Sterling may have touched the net. They did.
Violation.
It's a shame because the ball wouldn't have gone over, but Carter hit the net.
Same thing that happened to Madison 2 volleys ago now happens to Sterling.
11-10, Sterling leads it. Now in the back line to hit is Taylor. Taylor, their big hitter, sends it over. And Sterling lets it go, and it's in as it hits on the end line. We're tied at 11.
Yeah, that's a situation where you could possibly, if it's wide, get Taylor out of the serving position. You take your chances, but just inside.
Taylor to serve again, tied at 11. Floats one over, controlled by Kriebel. Sets it for Carter. She spikes and scores.
Yeah, that far corner, they left it open, and Elani Carter, when she gets on a roll, just has a knack of finding the open area of the floor, and more importantly, an accurate hit there, right in the corner inside the line.
Tori Dressler to serve for Sterling. They lead at 12-11. Set opportunity for Madison. Far side, they dink it in, controlled by Sterling, but they can't quite get to it, out of bounds.
Yeah, that's one of the few times with that fake set to the middle, they go far, that Madison was able to execute it.
This is a good game in game 2. Sterling won game 1. We're in game 2, tied at 12. Madison to serve. They get it cleanly over the net. Oh, it would have gone out as Shook was standing on the end line. It hit her in the stomach.
Yeah, I think Shook thought somebody was going to step up and take it. Again, we've seen a lot of miscommunication from Madison. So a little bit of that there with Sterling.
Madison to serve. They get it over. Go for the same spot, and that one is long. And good job by Shook to get out of the way of that one. So Sterling to serve here in game 2. We're tied at 13. In to serve Danielle Hanna. Just a junior. She'll start all the way on the basketball end line. Takes her time, takes a walk up. Here's her hit. Knuckleball over the net. Madison in a deep control. They'll just have a chance to pass it over. They do. Controlled by Sterling. Set at the net. Here's Kriebel a chance. She buries it. Deflected. And it's going to be Sterling point on the deflection.
It all starts with them not being able to handle Danielle Hanna's serve initially. Just were able to get up in the air, get the volley over. Of course, that leads with Sterling getting a good set and a good hit.
Of all the servers, she stands the deepest. Literally starts in the end line of basketball, walks about 5 feet in, hits a knuckleball, and that goes long.
Yeah,
Wisely let go by Madison.
Right, Madison, knowing they want to get Hanna out of the serving position. Anything that's close, they're going to let go.
14-14 here in game 2, the 2013 state championship game. Sterling won game 1, 25-18. If they can win game 2, they'll be the state champs. Right now, again, tied at 14 in game 2. Madison to serve. Hard hit over, and it goes out. Wisely let go by Brooke.
Good job by Brooke. She was laughing down there. Almost committed, pulled back, and good job letting that one go.
In to serve, Lori Gorzinski. Sterling by 1, 15-14. Garzinski gets it over the net, dug up by Madison. They set for Spike, far side. Spike is partially blocked by Sterling. They'll have a chance to set it. It's scooped over, though, by Kriebel. Now Madison at the net. A slam is blocked. Recovered, though. Sterling might have a chance to score. They set it up. Kriebel slams, dug up nicely by Madison. They have a chance to return it. It'll be a deep hit ball, though, into no man's land, controlled up. Kriebel at the net. She pushes one over, controlled by Madison. Madison a chance to spike. Blocked by Sterling off their hands, but a point for Madison.
Yeah, great volley by both teams, but Madison finishing it off, overpowering that double block.
15-15 here in game 2. Madison in to serve. As they sub on the play, they are ready. Serve goes over the net, controlled by Brooke. Set now, they go Kriebel far side. Her spike is blocked, but out of bounds. Sterling scores.
Yeah, anytime you can get Kriebel up there, coming up with a lot of momentum off to the far side, you've got to feel like you've got an advantage.
Kriebel now on the back line. She will serve. Sterling leads at 16-15 here in game 2, trying to make history for Sterling High School. Kriebel clears the net, dug out by Madison. They set, slam opportunity, dinked over, controlled by Sterling. At the net, they try to return a slam. Blocked nicely. Sterling had a chance to make a play, but two players looked at each other.
Yeah, whenever they need a big point, you've got Taylor coming to the net, whether it's with a hit or a block, and she was able to convert right there.
16-16 here in game 2. Ball hit over nicely by Madison. Sterling controls. From the back line, Kriebel touches it, set at the net. Chance to spike here for Madison. They tap it over, though. Sterling sets at the net. Dressler, her shot is blocked, and scoring is Sterling off the deflection.
Yeah, and I think the big thing right there, early in the volley, they got Taylor involved, but it was as a setter. I'll take Taylor getting involved as a setter anytime. Went over to Sterling, and they were able to convert.
Anne-Marie Brooks serves for Sterling. They lead it by 1, 17-16. A chance to tap it over for Madison. Sterling a chance to set. Here comes Dressler. She hits it long and out of bounds. Tied at 17 here in game 2.
Yeah, Dressler from the outside tried to hit the middle, just got a little bit too much on it.
Madison to serve, tied at 17. They get it into the net. Sterling will get the point on the missed serve.
Yeah, there's those unforced points that you can't have.
18-17. Sterling leads it into serve the freshman, Megan Shook. Sterling leading it by 1. Shook gets it over the net. At the net, hit into the net, Sterling point. Sterling, Kevin, 6 points away.
I think Madison's starting to feel the enormity of the situation that they're in right now. Being down 1-0 this game inches closer toward the end, being down by 2.
Shook to serve, Sterling up 2. Dug up by Madison, they set at the net. Slam opportunity and buried there by Taylor. She hasn't had many slams, but that was one of them.
Yeah, and they got Taylor with a lot of momentum coming up to that far side or the near side, and she made Sterling pay for it.
Taylor goes to the back line. She will serve, gets it over the net. Dug up by Kriebel. They set, back to Kriebel from the back line. She gets it over. Dug up by Madison. Back line hit for Taylor. Dug up by Sterling. Chance for them to hit it over. Dressler hits it over, controlled by Madison. Madison a spike opportunity, far side, they push it over. Dug up by Sterling. Carter looks to spike and scores.
We've seen if Carter's able to convert that, going against her body, Madison has no answer for it. They're totally caught off guard, thinking she's going to go the way her body's going, and just buries it right there and gets the 20th point.
Sterling 5 points away. They lead it 20-18. They serve it over. Madison pushes it. It's blocked by Sterling. A tough ball from the back line to hit it over now by Madison. They get it over. Dug up by Shook. To Carter, who slams and scores!
Carter's on fire right now in the middle, and you thought when Madison was able to keep that volley going that they could eventually get the point, but not get the point after having a great dig right there, and Sterling comes away with a huge point to go up by 3 right now.
The super fans can feel it. Sterling has won game 1. We are in game 2. Sterling leads it 21-18. They are 4 points away from the first ever state championship in girls volleyball at Sterling High School.
Well, you can see Madison starting to feel it. You had the one piece of miscommunication there right by the net, and also you had to serve into the net, something that normally doesn't happen to this Madison team. I mean, we saw them play the last game, seen them on film, and right now they're just out of sync, and I think you've got to give credit to Sterling, doing what they have to do, just playing a complete game. They're all over the floor, doing a great job offensively and defensively.
Sterling getting set to serve after the timeout. Tori Dressler to serve. They lead at 21-18. She gets it over the net. Tough dig for Madison. They'll have a back row hit. They hit it over, controlled by Sterling. Sterling at the net. Kriebel a back row hit, controlled by Madison. They set at the net, a chance to slam. They push it over the blocker. Sterling sets. Kriebel slams, deflected, a chance for Madison. At the net, slammed home by Carter. Sterling scores.
Yeah, there's that campfire right there. Didn't have the middle area of the floor covered. Madison's having a tough time getting the ball through the double block. When they do, Sterling's recovering from behind. That's been the biggest difference, I think, in the last few volleys.
Dressler sends it over and out of bounds. It makes it a 22-19 score, Sterling. So here comes a serve opportunity for Basilino for Madison, and they've got to score. Sterling leads at 22-19 here in game 2. She gets it over the net clearly. Tough dig by Brooke. They set. Carter slams, and it goes wide.
Yep, Carter was trying to get them caught off guard, going the way her body was going. Madison, with Carter going against her body, was anticipating her coming back the other way.
Serve at 22-20. They let it go, and it goes wide. Sterling 2 points away. 23-20 here in game 2. Coming in to serve for Sterling will be Danielle Hanna. If she can get Sterling 2 points, they'll be 2013 state champs.
Well, this is the server they want. They've had all kinds of problems with Danielle Hanna's service. You see Madison take a timeout right now, being down by 3 late in this game.
Madison went on a slight run to get themselves back in it. Sterling won the first game 25-18. Again, a timeout on the floor in game 2. Sterling leading it 23-20.
Sterling, again, it's just been a complete effort. One big thing you're seeing that's enabled them to pull away is the job Carter's done in the middle. Come up with some real big hits there in the middle. Nice block, just really doing what she has to do to elevate her team to a win here.
Getting set for what could be a state championship celebration here from William Patterson University. Sterling Lady Knights volleyball team, 2 points away from a state championship. They have won game 1. We are in game 2. Sterling will serve. They have broke the huddles for the timeout. Danielle Hanna is ready from the basketball end line. She'll walk up. She'll hit it. Knuckleball over the net, controlled by Madison. The set, a spike opportunity, partially blocked, and it goes in for Madison.
Yeah, that play Sterling's been defending well. Even if they get it over the double block, somebody's there to get the dig. Weren't able to do it right there.
Sterling leads at 23-21 here in game 2. Madison to serve. In to serve will be Taylor Camp. Sterling 2 points away from a state championship game. Camp takes her time. Hits it over the net, controlled by Sterling. Tough set here at the net. They could push it over. Kriebel hits it hard. Good dig out by Madison. Carter hits it, and Sterling scores. They're 1 point away.
Great job by Kriebel getting to the back area. When you have Taylor diving on the floor, not in the front, able to get a good hit, you know you've got Madison where you want him.
Laurie Garzinski in to serve for the 2013 state championship. Sterling leads at 24-21. Here we go. She hits it over the net, dug up by Madison. They look to crash far side, and they score. It's not over yet, 24-22.
Yeah, a couple nice big hits there on that far side in the last couple of volleys to keep this game alive for Madison.
24-22, Sterling leads it. Madison to serve, Ali Shahidi serves, gets it over. Brooks sets it up. Looking to spike here is Kriebel. It's blocked at the net, and it is still a point for Madison. It was that close if it was in or out.
Wow, we didn't have that was from our far end. Thought that was out, but the referee was right there.
24-23 Sterling. Madison gets it over the net. Set by Brooke at the net. Kriebel, a spike opportunity, dug up nicely by Madison. They bring it back. Sterling digs it up by Brooke. Set it for Kriebel. Kriebel spikes, and Sterling is state champs in 2013. The Lady Knights of Sterling have done it. The first ever state championship for girls volleyball. They win it 25-23, and Kevin, There was no doubt about it in this one.
A great team effort. Everybody had an impact in this win. Madison getting Taylor involved a little bit more in game number 2, but it wasn't enough. And Sterling coming up big. The Carters both at the net. Some great middle hits, and Madison just didn't have an answer for it.
What a great team effort. The teams are going to shake hands at the net as Sterling is going to be awarded a trophy here in a few seconds. We will have it for you. A couple of the graduating volleyball players have also run on the floor here. The third time is the charm for Sterling. It took them three tries, and in 2013, they are state champs.
And again, you could tell this game, even in game number 1, it had a little different feel to it than the other 2 years. And Sterling just came up here. They just weren't going to be denied. I mean, these girls didn't want to have the same bus ride home that they had the last 2 years. And they're definitely going to have a better bus ride home today.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There they are. They are courtside in a giant team hug. They did it. You got to feel great for these seniors, Kevin, especially girls like Kriebel and Carter who played, and this is an amazing feeling.
Hey, and you could just tell the confidence these girls had the other night when they lost game 2 to have Caldwell tie it up 1-1, or Barnegat for that matter. They said they weren't going to lose game 3. They just knew they were going to win, and they played today with that type of confidence.
All right, right now, Sterling is getting set for the trophy presentation. Right in front of us, Mr. McPherson is being presented with the trophy. We're going to try and give you a shot here. Congratulations to Sterling. They're getting their team picture right now, as they are the state champions here in 2013. Kevin, we're going to have you get a couple of the girls. They're going to have to come up here to talk to us because we're not going to be able to go down there. So,
I'm sure they won't mind at all making the climb up here today.
all right, well,
great job.
I'm going to send you down there so before they get too out of whack. If you can bring the girls up here when they get a chance, we'll put them on and we'll talk to them.
Yeah, I'll get them. Okay.
All right, let's send Mr. Schulz down. We'll keep it live here on Sterling Radio and Sterling TV for a minute while we get Mr. Schulz organized. As Mr. Schulz half falls down the bleachers here.
That Snickers bar kicked in, I think.
He's okay, folks. Don't worry. I needed that. Danny, it took 3 years, but they got it.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. The girls are going to be all excited. The one rough thing that's going to happen now, though, is they're going to push them off to that back court there, where they warm-up court, to do their celebration, because they do have another game, I believe, coming after this one.
So they got to warm it up and get ready, and they're waving to our crowd and our fans. They hold up the trophy. Mr. McPherson has to be ecstatic. Sterling, the only team in South Jersey who has qualified for the state championship, and to come away with the win is amazing.
And a young bunch still. You still have a good core coming back. So you should have a few more years of quality play.
Yeah, Dan, as you look at it, you're going to lose Leilani Naomi Carter. She's a senior, and Laurie Gorzinski, two outstanding players. But it's not like you're losing 5 or 6.
Right.
So what we'll do for our TV audience, we will step aside and we will come back with the post-game interviews. Again, Sterling, the state champs of volleyball here in 2013. And we will return with action on our TV audience with the interviews in a moment.
Tori Dressler, I'll tell you what, you had to feel coming into this game that you were the type of team, especially with everything that's going on in the last 2 years, that just wasn't going to be denied today.
Well, we've made it 3 times the states.
I'll
so
come down here a little bit. There we go.
Like it gets old going to states and losing. So they say 3rd time's the charm, and we really proved that to everyone.
Yeah, and you talk about us being able to come up here the last 2 years. Was you coming up here, being on this big stage the last 2 years, even at times not as a varsity player, did that help everybody this year feeling a little bit more comfortable walking into this building today?
Yeah, I think it definitely does play a big role. because we've already been here a lot. It's not new to us. Like, we've been in this position 3 times already, and it helped us a lot, I think, to our advantage.
Tori, thanks for coming on with us. We're going to get a lot of these other guys. Congratulations on the championship. Okay.
All right, we'll have Mr. Schultz
And
grab
who's up
another.
next?
All right.
Anne-Marie Brooke, always willing to come on camera, doing a great job. Coming into this game, obviously the one you had to look out for was Taylor. What did you guys do to seemingly in that first game take her out of her game?
We really were good on blocks. We definitely covered everything, and we just can read her very well. And yeah.
Yeah, and talk about what we thought was a complete game that you guys played. It looked like everybody had a part in this championship. Talk about how you guys have come together in this championship run as a team.
We're just all so close. We know how to work together very well. If someone messes up, we just bring them back up, and I think that's all, like, the momentum of all of us just together just made it a really great game.
And talking to each other before the game, what do you think was the key coming into this game?
I think the key was just like being optimistic, because honestly, like, they're a good team and we saw that, but we saw like what we could do and like how to be positive and just like beat them. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're not. You know, I talked to Tori. You weren't affected at all being on this big stage, but I'm sure there were a little nerves early on. But it seemed like you guys just settled in and played your game from that point on.
Definitely, we just saw it and we wanted it so bad. We've done it 3 times, so we're getting it this year. So.
Anne-Marie, thanks for coming on with us. Great job. Congratulations. And who's up next? Lainey. Gwarzinski. Just have to turn this way. Okay, look this way. How'd it feel coming in here? Obviously, this is your first year playing on varsity. When you walked into the building, were you nervous, or did you feel the comfort from being here last year?
I was still nervous because last year I didn't really play as much as I did this year, so I was extremely nervous.
Yeah, you had a couple key hits. Emily Kriebel off to the far side had a lot of big hits, a lot of big kills. You had a couple key hits. What was the key when you were going up for a couple of those kills? Were you looking for placement or just power?
I was looking for placement because I knew they would block me across, so I tried to go line, and I knew they wouldn't be able to receive my hit.
Were you guys surprised that Taylor, their number 8 on their team, had the power game, but at times looked like she was going with the soft game? Was that something that was a little bit unexpected for you guys?
It was a little unexpected, but we kind of figured it because we have really good blockers, so we were like hoping that she put soft stuff in it so we could return the pass.
And you guys were just trying to line up the double blockers to her. It had to feel good to be able to execute some of the double blocks that you had against her.
Yeah, it felt really good because she's an amazing hitter, and we knew we could block her.
Lainey, thanks for coming on with us. Congratulations. Okay. All right, who's up next? Leilani. I'll tell you what. We felt like in game number 2, you really came up big with your hits in the middle. What were you trying to do there in the middle?
Just to get the game over with and win.
Getting right to the point. Now, it looked like they were caught off guard. You have that shot where you go against your body a little bit. Did you think they were caught off guard by that shot that you have, you and your sister Loie?
Yeah, it's really confusing to play against it because you don't know where the ball's going.
Yeah, and you were visibly fired up after a couple of those double blocks. Tell us how good that felt.
It's a great feeling because I don't know, it's just good. It's just a good feeling.
Now let's go back to the beginning of the year and throughout the year. We'll look at probably a lower point in this season, the Paul 6 game. You guys lost over there by a decent amount. Talk about how this team really got things together and improved as the year went on.
Since that game, it's just something we thought about that we needed to be better. It's just a hardship in our relationship and our time playing together and everything. So it was just, we worked everything out and we did better, obviously.
You and your sister Loie playing on the same team, do you guys talk a lot, like when this game coming up, do you talk a lot about some strategy and what you're going to do outside volleyball, like at home? Do you talk a lot?
We talk about volleyball all the time. We talk about her blocking and her hitting. And it's just, I don't know, everything just kind of works out.
Yeah, because it seems like you guys have similar styles. You're the two that in the middle go against your body and have had a lot of success with that. What's ahead for this team right now? Obviously, you go on to the Tournament of Champions. How do you feel about this team moving into that situation?
I feel like we're going to do really good. If we win or lose, I'm still proud of my team. I think we did really good this season.
Leilani, thanks for coming on with us. Best of luck the rest of the way. Megan Shook, the freshman. Hey, I'll tell you what, again, it looked like teams, as they have all year, had trouble with your serve. You can come up here. There we go. Okay, and you can look at the camera right there. Had a lot of trouble with your serve. Was there any type of thing you were doing any differently today, or were just trying to stay with your game from a serve standpoint?
Not today. My main point was just like to get it over the net and make it good so the other team could have some trouble with it.
Yeah, and in that back area, where you're floating around in that back area, it looked like you had some nice digs. Were you just looking for any type of tips off the block, and did things go kind of as you had anticipated?
Well, my job is to get the short balls and tips, and Anne Marie get like back, so I had to cover her short, and that's like my property.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, when you started playing volleyball as a freshman, think that you'd be standing here as a state championship player today, winning the Group 2 crown?
Not at all. I was surprised when I heard that I was on varsity, so yeah.
And we talked about a lot of these other girls being on this big stage before. Obviously, this is your first time up here as a player. Were you in any way overwhelmed just walking into this building with the size of it, knowing you're at a state championship?
At first I was nervous, but then like during the game I just started to calm down and like thinking we got this. This is like our year and we should win.
Megan, thanks for coming on with us. Best of luck in the tournament champions. Congrats. Okay. And here we have Danielle Hanna coming up big with the serve. And we always remark that when you get that serve going, you stand way back. And it seems like, again, you were very confident with your accuracy.
Yeah, my serve definitely carries pretty far, so I have to stand far back and to get it in. So.
Yeah. Going against this team, was there any type of a different strategy? I know Megan said she was just going with her regular. If you could step up here, Danielle. If she was going with her regular hit, was there any type of different strategy going against this team today?
No, I definitely tried to stay calm and just aim for their weakest passers and.
Okay. Were you surprised that Taylor, their big hitter, number 8, didn't seem to have as much of an impact in game number 1 as she had in some of the games you saw on film?
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised. So.
Yeah. What do you think you guys did to take her out of your game?
Blocking was definitely a big thing today, and just our passing as well.
Okay. And from this point on, again, did you ever think at this point, when you started the season, a lot of younger players, obviously you were one of the ones who had veteran experience here. You played here last year. Did you ever think you'd be standing up here as a state champion?
Not at all. I'm so happy, and I'm just so happy.
Danielle, thanks for coming on with us. Great job today. Congratulations. Okay. Lori Grzinski coming in here. I'll tell you what, you can stand right here. Just look at the camera. You guys didn't want to go home on that bus the same way you did the last 2 years, I'm imagining.
No, we came to win.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I know we talked to a couple of the girls, I think you included, said, and we'll go back to the last game, the sectional finals. After losing game number 2, you guys seemed to have that attitude that you just, no matter what, weren't going to be denied. Did that carry over into today?
Yeah, it carried over. After losing game 2, we realized that like we wanted to win so bad, so we were going to do anything we could.
And one thing we thought, it was that Madison didn't seem to get a lot of good sets. On the other hand, you and Emily Kriebel were working great together. It looked like early on you guys got into a good rhythm with the sets. Was that what was happening?
Yeah, our passes were great, and again, we got a lot of good passes and good sets, so their passers couldn't really get a good ball.
Okay. And anytime they got a point early on in game number 1, it seemed like you guys didn't get rattled. You stayed with your game. What was being said between the girls in that early part of game number 1?
Well, in the circle, we just come together. We just shake everything off. Like, volleyball is a game of momentum, so we can't let anything, like, hurt us. We have to just let everything go and keep playing.
Lori, thanks for coming on with us. Congratulations. Enjoy the bus ride home. Okay. And we have Emily Kriebel. Hey, great job. You were an impact on the outside, in the middle, every which way. Just in general, how do you feel right now?
I feel great. We worked so hard for this, and we came out successful.
You were the one that specifically said to me after you guys lost game number 2 the other night, you weren't going to be denied in game number 3. Did you tell the girls that today? Was that that obviously had to be your mindset coming into today?
Yeah, we told them don't play the second game like we did in the last one. We need to come out playing just like we did in the first game. It's a new game and it's a new slate. That's what we did.
And were you surprised? It looked like you guys had a lot of nice sets between you and Lori throughout the game. Were you surprised, on the other hand, that Madison wasn't able to get some real good sets, especially in game number 1 when Taylor didn't really seem to get involved?
Yeah, they were struggling with their passing a lot. They had obviously had some good kills, but they weren't as great as I saw them on film because they couldn't get a pass off our serves.
And then game number 2, they kind of came alive. Taylor was a little bit more involved. What do you think was the key in game number 2 to you guys staying with it and end up winning it?
We had to play like we did in the first game, and we couldn't let up at all.
How about the super fans? What type of impact did they have on you out there?
They were really great. I want to thank them. They did awesome. They always pump us up.
And we talked about the whole program, the way it's really come on. Obviously, you being a 3-year starter, and you see some of the other girls up here, Carrie Applegate, Ashley Sims, Melanie Kaiser, coming up to support you guys. How good did it feel to see those girls up here?
It feels so great because they all made us better, and I love seeing them up here.
Emily, thanks for coming on with us, and congratulations. Great job. Good luck in the Tournament Champions. Loie Carter, we got both Carters on here. Hey, outstanding job. We talked to Leilani, and one thing, when we look at you guys have that uncanny ability to go against your body. Was that a key? Was that something you were really focused on doing here today?
Yeah, it was, because we have, like, when we hit, it's like we have to do it really well and everything. So we wanted to do it like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Now, talk about Taylor, number 8 on the other side. Was that a big, obviously you were focused on your hit, what you had to do on the offensive side. Was that a huge thing for you guys to go up and double block her, know where she is at all times?
Yeah, because she was really their best player.
You coming in here, first year as a varsity starter. You had other girls being varsity starters for the first time. Obviously, this team had its tough points throughout the year. When do you think things really came together for you guys when you were able to get onto this championship run?
Like, during the playoffs games, it was like me and Lady, since we're sophomores, it was a lot harder for us because we have to block all the time. So it like made us better players throughout playoffs and then in the championship.
Now we'll ask you one more thing. During the year, you guys play some top flight competition out of your conference in the tournaments. How much did that help you guys playing against the Cherokees and the Williamstowns in the world when you come to this tournament? The experience of that, how much did that help you?
It helped us a lot because in our regular season we didn't verse that many good teams. So in the tournaments and everything, it helped us a lot, like with experience and everything.
Loie, thanks for coming on with us. Congratulations, great job. Okay. And we've got Coach. Of course, don't drop it. He was down there polishing it. I think a strand of dust came down on it, and he fought it off. Hey, congrats, man. What a feeling for you guys, I'm sure. Coming in here, what was going through your mind as you guys were warming up? Obviously you were here the last 2 years. What were you thinking?
Can I stop you? I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem.
I want to say one thing real quick. I don't even know what you're asking me right now. I want to thank my wife for putting up with me all season. I love you. I wish you were here, and I can't wait to see you. And I want to thank my kids who I couldn't watch run in their cross-country state championship meet. You guys, thank you so much. And I heard your times. You both did awesome. I love both of you. Thank you. Now, what were you saying?
I can't top that one. I think the interview's over now. I can't top that one. When you walked in here, take us through. You walking in here from the point of walking in here till the game had started. What was going through your mind?
That I just hope we win this one. It's just so hard to get here year in and year out, and you don't want to, squander the opportunities. I said to the girls, the past 2 years I had kind of rehearsed speeches, and this year I said, you know what, I'm just going to wing it. And I just told them what it meant to me, and for whatever it means to you guys, play for that reason, whether it's playing for me, playing for themselves, playing for each other, whatever it is. And I just kind of stayed loose. I was much tighter the first 2 times I was here, and I was a lot more loose this time, and I don't know if that's the reason, but I don't care what the reason was.
Well, you're saying how it affected you already being here. Obviously, it seemed to us like being on this stage before helped your girls kind of stay calm. I'm sure they were nervous in the beginning. They'd said it, but I think being here before, and you can disagree or agree, really helped them calm down and play their game.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, every playoff game this year, I've gone to Leilani and Lori and Emily and said, listen, if things start to go south, talk to these other girls. You're the girls that have been here before, and it definitely helped those 3.
And in game number 1, you had to feel like very early on, this game, number 1,
had more of a different feel than the game number ones of last year and the previous year.
It's nice to jump out to a lead and really come out with that momentum. We didn't do that either time the previous 2 years, and it made all the difference. You know, that they called that first time out. I think I can't remember the score. I think we were up 4 or 5, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure, but you know, I just kind of said to the girls, listen, important to get a good good jump, but this is a long journey. This is only beginning, so you know, stay focused.
Talk about how good it felt on your end in game number one. It seemed like you guys were able to get Taylor, number 8, out of her game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we kind of said we saw him warm up and we saw him play the last time, and in warm-ups 2 days ago, and today as well. She's just pounding balls. Oh yeah, and you know, you said, hey, look, she's going to look amazing in warm-ups, but in warm-ups she's getting a coach tossing the ball to the setter, and you know, which is a perfect pass, so she's not going to get that a whole lot during the game, and you know.
And talk about, we felt like with the microphones are good. We don't have to talk any louder, I don't think. It seemed like you guys, obviously this level, you're not going to get a whole lot of aces, but still it seemed like them having trouble with serves didn't allow them to get the good sets, and in turn, you guys were able to get the good sets.
Yeah, they struggled early with Danielle's serve in particular. I think Danielle had 3 big aces in that first game. They settled in and passed her a little bit better the second game. But yeah, it doesn't come up as maybe necessarily an ace or a lot of times a kill. You know, where Leilani or Emily are hitting a ball hard and they don't necessarily get the kill, but it just takes the other team, and you know, Madison in this case, it just disrupts what they want to do, and they don't get a good attack back at you.
How good did it feel seeing the super fans come in here?
They're awesome. They're amazing. Yeah. They just, and I thank Mr. Riley, by the way, for chaperoning the bus, and you know, they're just amazing.
Yeah, and these girls, again, came up with a big effort right here. This year had its ups and downs. In your mind, well, let me ask you this. In the beginning of the year, in your wildest dreams, did you think you would be sitting here with a lot of new players here?
I thought we had the potential because I didn't think Group 2 had any powerhouses in it, so I always knew there was the potential to do this. But you know, you said it there. With all these new players, you don't know how they're going to gel. You don't know who's going to do what. We had a point in the season when we lost our first game to Paul VI where I kind of thought I needed to adjust the lineup, and we tried it for 3 games. It was okay, didn't really look that great, and we decided to abandon it and go back to the current lineup. And that was that Southern game that you guys did on Channel 19. We ended up beating Southern 2-1, and whether that just kind of jump-started them, kicked them in the rear end, and said, "Hey, I gotta play hard to hold my spot here," But there's a point in the season where we went from being a team that was 12-1 to 14-7 in the course of a week and a half. And I mean, part of that is just I intentionally go out and schedule an aggressive schedule. I want to play the Cherokees, and Hunter and Central called us. We went and played them. The Williamstowns, the Marlboros. Paul VI was in there. To me, that gets them ready for this, and hopefully that is why you saw this result.
Did the way you guys play in this championship tournament, in this little run here, did that start with that Eastern tournament and the wins over Williamstown and Cherokee?
I would have to say yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And at this point, obviously, you move on to the Tournament of Champions. And right now, obviously, you want to enjoy everything. What's ahead? Do you know when you guys are going to play?
We'll play on Saturday, either way, we play on Saturday. I don't know the time. They take the 5 state champions and they seed them 1 through 5. So if I had to guess, we'd be a 4 or 5 seed, which is the first game. I'm not sure the time yet, but it'll be Saturday back up here at William Patterson.
You saw Carrie Applegate, Ashley Sims, Melanie Kaiser, them come up and support you guys. This is sitting down. This was a great win for this team. Is it in some ways a validation of the program for the entire 5-6 year run that you guys have gone on?
Exactly. Ever since I've taken over the head coaching position, I'm not going to say everybody's name because I'll forget them all, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. But I've had 11 seniors that have graduated, and they've all played a role in where we are right now.
Matt, congratulations! Thanks for coming on with us. Hey, enjoy the win.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, yes, thank you. By the way, you didn't lead me into that question. Even before that, I got to thank Coach Feeney. Just for a couple of things. He really got this program started in the right direction, got the girls out playing club. You look at a girl like Jess Egan, and a lot of the seniors that just graduated really saw her when they were freshmen and sophomores, and they said, I want to be that good. What does it take to be that good? And, Feeney kind of started all of that. And with his scouting this season, driving to these other schools 2 hours north, is just a huge reason why we are where we are as well.
Well said, Coach. Time to go celebrate.
Let's do that.
Enjoy the ride home. And we'll go back to Tad.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Congratulations to girls volleyball, Mr. McPherson. The girls did a great job. We congratulate them. We are going to move on and celebrate. That's going to do it for us. From Mr. Farr, from Mr. Schulz, I'm Mr. K. Talk to you next time right here on Channel 19.